everybody, this is Souls44, and welcome back to Galactic Chickens episode 22, 23, something like that. Anyway, I'm here today. Actually, I think it's a lot farther. Must be having some form of mental lapse lately. I've done quite a few videos, I just haven't posted them all up. So, in any case, I'm here with a mod pack myself and sprobblin help edit and create for public use. We have an open server that's available to everybody. If you download the mod pack from Twitch, you'll be able to join the server for free. It doesn't cost anything. Just go on to Twitch, download it, get it, install it, and play modded Minecraft with us and build. We have plenty of room. Anyway, last episode I talked about the fluid banding item and empower. I went over that a little bit, how I made that, basically how I made that. A little kind of quick, so I apologize if it was too fast, or maybe you felt like I just went over it and killed the mod too much. But I wanted to show you how that was done. Well, during that process I also made a fishing net. Now since I'm being really general about stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to collect some fish. I just don't really want to make it so that it ends badly with me having too much fish, but I do have a lot of storage room for right now, so excuse the fact that I'm just going to let it run. I think right here is not a bad spot to do it, because I am close to my base. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be using an ender chest. Actually, I'm going to be using just one ender chest too. And if I'm using brown wool, it's going to make the top have brown, just to kind of FYI why it's the way it is. And then I always put a diamond now on the front latch, and that secures it to be only mine, just in case I do open this to land for whatever reason. And I'm going to place this block, let's say right here. I don't really need it to be hidden. I like the way these chests look. They're kind of cool. But you can hide it, of course. And then let's go ahead and push that there. Now this chest is also the same one that's in the house, and it's connected to an importer, and it should be showing, yep, grains of infinity, which are a whole nother process. By the way, if you followed me at all, inside the server there is riddle trees. I built these integrated dynamic systems that are in there that give you rewards if you answer the riddle correctly by providing the tree with the proper item by throwing it into a hopper. In this episode, I'm going to reveal to you right now the answer to one of the riddle trees. Double compressed block of grain of infinity. There you go. If you push a double compressed block of grain of infinity, this right here, it's kind of not super easy to get. I mean, double compressed infinity dust block. If you get that and you put that inside of one of the riddle trees, it'll give you a reward. I'll give you a better hint. How about this? You'll get the fly. You won't get the angel ring, okay, because that requires other things. No, you get the fly straight off the bat. Pun intended. You get a bat wing. You get the bat wing. So let's show the bat wings right here, and that's another actually additions item. It's not infinite flight, but it's darn near, because every time you land it just recharges. I mean, you can look it up and check it out. It's a really cool item. Very rarely used. Almost nobody has one. That's because it takes quite a bit to make. I mean, it takes an ender star, which requires all of this, another star, black quartz, you know, you have to go kill the dragon, all that just so that you can fly. I don't think so. You come to my riddle tree, you got it. You just got to make that double compressed. How you get that, that's up to you. Now, so anyway, let's hurry up and get this fishing going. Let's just get this fishing going. All right, so let's go with dirt. Super easy. Put that nether rack away. And a bucket, because I'm going to need to probably place water back down. If I remember right, the fishing net only works when it's above a water block. So this will not work. But if I land here and I break this, it's now above a water block. And I think this will work. I'm not 100%. But I think that's all I need. And what will happen from what I gathered is that randomly a fish will just pop up on this, and it acts like a fisherman fishing. So it takes a while. It's not really fast. I honestly don't think it's that great of an item, and it definitely does not worth an empowered block, empowered emeradic crystal. But let's go ahead and take care of this and do let's do a collector. No, let's not use a collector. That's range is too big. Let's use, thermal has one. I think that is well, what is this? Let's go thermal. What's it called? It's not a collector. I use collectors so often that, matter of fact, this is better. The aquatic entangler. If you want to get fish and things that are from fishing, this is the better of the two choices, in my opinion. Oh, there it is. A vacuumulator. The vacuumulator is pretty cool. Its range isn't super big though, but it does have one thing that I like. This is the configuration of where it pushes out. When it is blank, like it is right now, it doesn't do anything. It just holds all the items in the slots, and that's it. It does not have an auto input, but it does have an auto eject and an auto output eject I leave on. And then you can choose the sides in which it moves the items out of itself. So this will be the left, right, north, south, and this is the back side. So I'm going to have it push out to the bottom, and then everything it picks up is then going to shoved into this ender chest. There you go. Automatic fishing. Now, I promised in the last video that I was going to cover Flux networks. I'm going to go do that because it's pretty simple, but I made it simpler. It's also been made simpler on the server. We even had to do a server restart to make this happen because for whatever reason, the configs on it were messed up a little bit, and then the new recipe for making Flux, redstone Flux, or just making Flux itself, is not, it's not impossible to automate. It's totally possible to modify and make this Flux with the new recipe. I just think that it's lame that it changed from an easy one to a hard one, and so I switched it back to an easy one. And the easy one is very simple. It's just redstone dropped into lava. Once again, it needs a gap, and I have that set up down here. So let's start with that. There is my dropper. On the dropper, at the top of it is a crafter, which is attached to this network receiver attached to my refined storage. The refined storage remote control, which I have in my hand, allows me to access that remotely. The pattern is going to be really simple. You place one redstone in, one flux out. So if I was to type in flux, you can see that I don't have any crafted at all. And it says on here, and this is misleading, and I just explained that a second ago, but I wanted to explain to you real quick what this says. Obtained by compressing redstone with bedrock and obsidian. So I fixed the craft so that you just drop lava, redstone into lava. That's the old recipe. I put that back in. So even though it says that, that's not how it works. But the old way, the new way is going to be this way. And what it means by that is you would take bedrock, you would have obsidian 2 blocks above it, and then you throw redstone underneath the obsidian, and then you right click the obsidian falls. Right. So then you have to break the obsidian, pick it up, place it 2 blocks above the bedrock again, and place the redstone down, and just keep on repeating that process. Yes, that is actually automatable. It's not that difficult with a breaker and a placer, and a player clicking it, or a mechanical user clicking it. But notice I had to say all those different things. I don't have to do that with this. It's just real simple. I'm going to tell it flux. I'm going to tell it how much. Let's make a stack. And I'm going to get back. Now, if I have a magnet on, it can really screw this up. So make sure if you have a magnet on to get away from it. You notice that the flux is disappearing and it's just puffing into smoke. It's not being destroyed. It's actually being picked up by this ranged collector, which is whitelisted. Okay, whitelisted to pick up flux. And so it's just going to continually pick up the flux and put it into my grid. There's an importer on the back side of that collector, and it just sits there and does this until it makes an entire stack, one at a time. See? Very simple, really easy, kind of neat that it's dropping. It does make a loud hissing sound, and so does the demon metal being made. So let me show you that. Oh, I got a lot made. I was playing around with that. I want to make a whole bunch of demon metal stuff. I don't think it's used very often, and I think it'd be kind of fun. So let's go ahead and make one. Let's make 10. I'll show you that. It's cool for special effects too. So let's say you had a bunch of spare gold and you wanted to make a big volcano at the top of something. You could use this. I think that would be pretty neat. There you go. Same thing, picked up by the range collector and imported into the system. It takes a little bit, but there you go. Right? Right. that flux. Let's go back up here and show you my system. You use that flux. There's my stack to create these flux cores. Flux core is this pattern here. It takes ender eyes with blaze, obsidian, and your flux around the outside. So this is not to be taken lightly. This is not a super like very early game way of managing your power, but it is very commonly used by many YouTubers and many different people that are playing, and I really like it, and I use it as much as I can too, because it's wireless. I mean, wireless power, less chance of having wires running all over the place if you don't like that sort of thing, and I don't care for it. So there you go, that's that. Now you can right click on that, it's going to create a flux block, which is more flux, and then of course more flux blocks. This creates your flux controller. Your flux controller isn't 100. I don't know if it's needed, but it's useful. I don't know if it's needed. I don't know if you need to have it, but I do know that I've always made one just in case. So that way I can manage my stuff and I can look at it and I can assign things, names and different power levels, and you can do all kinds of settings inside of it. You can protect your network from other players, and yeah, and you can enable wireless charging with this. Without this, you cannot do the wireless charging. That's the big reason why I do it. You also have now your flux point. Now your point, if you look at something where you point at it, it's you pointing into it, so it's something going in, and it says for removing energy from the flux network, which that wording is what I think trips people out or tricks people a little bit. I ignore that part and say flux point. I'm pointing into something. You don't point away from something, right? So I'm pointing in, and then you have the flux plug, and you use plugs to stop things from coming out. So energy is coming out of the item and into the network by plug. So this is, you attach the plug to a generator, a nuclear reactor, which will be my next video, I believe. And it's just an extreme reactor, not a nuclear reactor. Anyway, the plug takes the power into the system. The point takes it out of the system and puts it into items. So you can attach these one at a time. You can attach cables to them. They're very useful. It's super easy to use. Now let's go over and look at the Flux controller by right-clicking on it. I named this network by going here to create new network, and then I created Solus network. You'll then go into network selection and select your different networks that you have available. So you can have separate networks for different functions. And I think I have it set for a total of 2 or 3. I think it's 3 networks per person on the server. I've been told that it's necessary, but I'm not 100% sure. Network settings lets you change the color of your settings, your energy type, which I leave on redstone flux, but it can be anything. You can make it secure, which will let you put a password on it. It shows you the owner. It shows your statistics, which right now it's just maxed out. My input is 932 RF per tick. My output's 932 RF per tick. It's not going anywhere. It's just stagnant. As I add more to this, this will go up. If it ever reaches past the point where its input and output is not even, you'll be able to see that here, and you'll see this chart change. The next is going to be your different locations where all your plugs and your stuff is at. This is super useful because this can tell you whether you're losing something somewhere, like right here, forced loading. This is actually my grid, and right now it is, and when it says forced loading, it means that it has a chunk loader built in, so that's also going to provide you with a chunk loader. On the server, that's been disabled. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there already, just because you need to get chicken chunk loaders for the server, so you can not overload the server with a whole bunch of stuff that's not needing to be running at all time. Plus, if you don't play for a few days, you know, it's kind of rude to everybody else that your area is running and theirs is lagging for whatever reason. This is a flux point also that's losing 20 RF a tick. You can click on it, it'll give you the coordinates. Pretty cool. I can also disable limit, and I can also turn on chunk loading here. I can also put surge mode on, which I don't even bother using. Surge mode is really great for filling the containers faster, that kind of thing. So let's look down here. This is my input, and I'm going to disable the limit there. I never did that. So this is the buffer. See, it's plug. So I have 2 plugs. One plug is not receiving anything right now because it's not moving, and one's receiving 932. Then I have your storage. Now this is my basic storage container. I'll cover those in 1 second. And this is my gargantuans. This is the largest one that you can make, and this is the smallest one you can make. Believe me, you pretty much only need a couple of these. They're 1 million RF for a buffer. Yeah, I've never really used them up. You have options here for other things too. And let's get to wireless charging. I showed you this before in another video. Armor slots, dark means off, light means on. Bobble slots, dark is off, light means on. So if you put an item that needs to be charged inside the bobble slot and you hit enable wirelessly or wireless, it will charge those items like a battery or some kind of item that you have that needs it, like my water banning ring that I had. Main inventory has been set to disabled. I can add it, I can put it like this, and then it still stays disabled. I don't know why. Don't care, it's not a big deal. Hotbar is enabled, and both of my hands are enabled. So there you go. And you have to have the controller for this to work. This is where you select your different networks. And then your home, which is, I have my limit disabled. I don't know why you would limit it for sure, but there's going to be plenty of reasons, I'm sure. And you can change this limit as well. So if you wanted something to only get enough power to do certain things, I guess. So there's your basic Flux storage of 1 million RF, and this is your gargantuan storage of 128 million RF. Am I going to run out of power anytime soon? I believe not. Now, to make these, let's go at Flux. I have, as you can see, there's auto crafting already set up for most of this. Here's a point already made. Exactly. So if you look at this Flux point, let's go ahead and make a plug as well. Where's my plug? There's a plug. I'll show you a little bit about that. So, well, first let's cover the storage. That's what we were going to do. Basic Flux storage, you get 1. When you go to make the next level, which is the Herculean, it takes 6 of the basic to make the Herculean. The Gargantuan takes 6 of the Herculean to make 1 Gargantuan. So you kind of get the idea. 6 million RF to make a Herculean, right? And then, so you would think that this is worth 6 million RF, but it's actually worth 20 some, I think, or more. And then 6 of those to make the Gargantuan. So they scale up their power storage as you go. So let's talk about the plug and the point. So the plug and the point look obviously different. They kind of remind me of another mod that we don't have in the mod pack, simple storage. But let's go over here and look at this. So when you first put them down, they're gonna say no network selected, and they're gonna have 0 RF. Then that's it. You're gonna right click on them, and notice that it says please select a network. You can't just click on this box, okay? So that's misleading. I don't like that, but that's what it is. Instead, you're gonna go to the right where it has this list. That's what it reminds me of, a piece of paper with a list. You're going to click on that, and it's going to list you your different networks. Okay? I'm going to highlight by clicking on Solus 44's network, and this is going to turn this into Solus 44's network's Flux point. By the way, for the views. Right? Boom. Now, for the views will show up in these network statistics. Not the network connections. There it is, for the views. So you can label each one of your points, anything you need to, so that way you can figure out what it is, where it's at, that kind of thing, without having to go in and look for it. But I can go like here, that's going to be the coordinates of where it's located, including the dimension in which it's located, which is very important because you want to make sure that if you're in outer space, that you've got some power, right? And this can do that for you. And remember, Galactic Chickens will take you with Galacticraft into outer space. So there's a network selection. There you go. You can also create more networks, and you can choose encrypted or public, like I said, and you can choose password protected or not. You can even change these energy units or redstone flux. I don't bother. I'm going to back out of all that, and then you're done. Now this is going to keep this color now because it's been tampered with. It's been changed. It now belongs to Solus 44's network. The plug is exactly the same as the point. The only difference is this one is taking power in, and you're limited to a 800,000 RF per tick. Okay, I don't know if that's clear enough. 800,000 RF per tick. Yeah, that's a lot of power, and it's probably not going to be something that I make, but I might make something powerful. I don't know. I do have draconic reactors in here, and maybe if I get someone asking in the comments or really pushing to do it, I'll make the draconic reactor, and I might even blow one up here in my world, just for fun. Yes, I can do it. I do know how. It's not super complicated the way I've learned, but I also don't get a whole lot of power out of them, and I would rather just make a few extreme reactors instead. So, thanks for stopping by and checking that out. That pretty much covers your Flux networks. And yes, they do connect. Let's just show you a connection. Actually, let's go down and show you a connection. I think I have a connection down here. Matter of fact, why don't I go ahead while I've got a little bit of time left to show you guys what I didn't show you before. I say, oh, this is the machine room, and I just go off and leave it, so you guys didn't see it. Let's go ahead and cover this. Alright, now that I've peeled back the layer of wall of dirt, I was actually going to cover up the rest of the way, but I might as well go ahead and show this to you, then I'll cover it up. So inside here are my various different machines. This is an alloy smelter, a simple alloy smelter, a fluid transposer, and these right here, if you were wondering what they are thermal mediators. And this is a 20% increase for having water inside of it, and what it does is if it's touching a block from thermal expansion, these machines, it provides it with a boost in speed. I haven't upgraded all these to maximum speed yet, hence they're only yellow, which is a kit that I need to add. So let's go ahead and add kit. As you can see, I've already set them up for autocraft. A resonating kit's the highest one, and this one is a conversion kit, which will skip over all the steps all the way to green. So let's go ahead and make, well shoot, let's go see how many we can make here. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So I'm going to type in kit and say I want 6. 6 of those. Is it going to have enough to do it? It looks like it's going to. And look at all the stuff it takes to make that thing. Holy moly. Now it's going to have to take a little bit because it's going to have to craft a lot of stuff. The best part about it, oh look, that's working. My mechanical squeezer makes my obsidian for me, which I find that fascinating that it can squeeze obsidian and make a pulverized obsidian. But you can hear everything kicking on. Now these are all importers, and these are, as you see, this is set to red, meaning the output, and then blue in the input. And what that means is the back side of this machine is inputting. There it is, inputting. And that's being input from this crafter, which it's crafting Electrum Blend into Electrum right now. So there you go. It sounds like it's raining outside. Great. So I've been putting these thermal mediators because water is free, and I can export with fluid types on the exporter. You can switch this back and forth. Switch it to water. Boom. Water goes in. Now I'm going to switch that over to cryothium, which is like 40% increase in speed. So we'll see a huge increase in speed to these once I get all of these kits installed, and then all the speed up upgrades as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit kit. Now I have my 6 thermal resonant kit conversion kits. That one's now converted, converted, converted. Let's go ahead and do it. Do it to it. Because Solus 44 can't count. I'm a derpy derp. Let's go ahead and do that again. That was 7. I mean, you know, one more. See, I'm glad I don't stream. I would be booted off the stream by my mods would be like, what is he doing? He's doing that thing again. Alright, so there it goes. It made my other kit. Wow, that's horrible. Alright, so there you go. Now I've got all those. Now the unfortunate side is you also have to make the augments. At the yellow level it has room for 2, at the green it has room for 4. And so let's go ahead and make those augments. Oh, look at that. I already have 8. I'm just going to go ahead and make a stack. You know why? I'm a baller. That's why. No, because I have all the resources in the world at the moment, and I don't care about conserving them. I'm not a very conservative player when it comes to some things. I just make stacks and just go on. That way it's there for later and I don't have to wait. So you just right click on them and they'll go in the slots if they're open. 1, 2. Now you'll notice that the power in these is at 180,000 KRF. That's a lot. But it goes up as you increase the tier usage. So there you go. Now you're going to see it jump way up. There you go. Alright, so now the speed on all those should be, excuse me, it's significantly increased in speed. I had barbecue and on the grill today, and man, was it delicious. Anyway, 4 of these bad boys increases the maximum power usage, right? That's what it says in green. But if you look above that, it says machines, processing speed. So now instead of this compactor taking forever, it should be pretty quick. So let me just check it out. I'm going to use some steel. Let's go ahead and make a stack of steel plates. You put steel in here and it should come out plates. Look at the speed of that. I'm okay with that. Now instead of having this all conduited into an interface, I went ahead and just put these importers on, and these importers keep up just fine. But they also allow me one other thing too as well, and that is to allow me to put a stack upgrade into the right side here. And with that, I will be able to like literally pull a stack of a product out at a time. Way fast, and it's actually pretty easy to make. If you just type in stack, I've already got those. Wait, you know what? Make a stack of stack upgrades. Let's see if we got the stuff to do it. Looks like we have enough stuff to do it, so let's make it happen. Well, that takes a minute though, don't it? What is it that's making that take so long? I wonder. Are you? Is it you? No? So this right here is my igneous extruder. Now it was making me obsidian. I don't need it to make obsidian anymore. But it does auto-craft with the refined storage. And I wanted to make sure that that's been talked about, because that's a benefit of refined storage that's not available for Applied Energistics, is crafters can input fluids into machines. Yes. Flat out, just without anything else, just straight into the machine. So if I wanted obsidian and I didn't have any, I would craft a expected recipe of lava and water of the correct amounts, and it would pop out a thing of obsidian, and it would go from here into this importer, and there you go. Now, if it was crafting another fluid, I would have to have a fluid interface. You know what? It's going to have to rain until I get home, right? So let's go ahead and go home and come back. Thank goodness. I swear it rains in my biome too much. Whew, that's loud. I have these a crusher attached to a crafter, and I have these mechanical drying basin and the mechanical squeezer attached to crafters. They are funky with the input-output, and they don't function the same as other machines. They don't have a GUI that tells you, you know, what side they go in and out of. But a basic hopper on the bottom will pull out of the squeezer. And same thing with the mechanical drying basin, because they're fairly early game items that you're supposed to get for integrated dynamics. I don't know, it seems to be pretty good for me, and it was easier to do that than, I mean, these were my 2 first crushers and drying basins and stuff. These were my first 3 machines I made because they were really easy for me to make at the time. And I decided not to throw them away. Yeah, put it that way. Power-wise, I'm going to be replacing all these cables. These are only good for 1,000 RF a tick. I have Ender IO cables that are far more powerful. I think they're 20,000 RF a tick, so I can replace those. Underneath here is also some power drain that I had made. These are wireless RF transmitters from Extra Utilities. They're just there because I had them, and I didn't have any power cables at the time, so now I have those. And then I have these right here. Ender Energy Conduits, and those are going to all the other newer machines from Ender IO. This is a refined storage conduit that will actually link up to Ender IO conduit, so I can make connections with things that otherwise I couldn't do. Now I don't need that attached to a hopper. That's weird. So here's a flux point, and it's attached to the network and that cable. As you can see, it is connected, if I can get it, with the Ender IO cable. And it will not connect with the refined storage cables, so you don't even try to do that. But you can connect it directly to the controller. There is an underside view of the furnace, and yeah, the igneous extruder. This is just a little cave that was here when I came, so I decided to leave it. You know, why not? Just add some dirt. I'll make a door. I just wanted to make sure that was open for right now. There you go. So there's the machine setup. This is all cabling coming from up in the house down into the basement here. You can see my reborn storage wall is set up. I don't know why I added the steps here, but I did. There. Frame stairs. Super freaking easy stuff. Well, anyway, that seems to be about all the time I've got for today on this video. Like, subscribe, comment. Stop on by. It's Galactic Chickens. Still a new mod pack in my opinion. It's not really played by a whole bunch of people yet. But I mean, if you're not going to play it much, just give it a shot. Check it out. If you don't like it, you know, leave me a comment telling me why you don't like it. I can always improve if people tell me how. I take constructive criticism when it comes to the work that I've done online, and that includes for these videos. I mean, I'm just here having a good time, and I'd like to share this stuff with other people. So basically, that's about it for today. I'm going to come back on another video. I think I'm going to do Extreme Reactor from scratch, so I can see what I can show you all what I do. I don't do anything crazy for an Extreme Reactor, though. You might get disappointed. It's very basic, and I don't really need it at all. I just wanted to do it because it's fun. Plus, I've been seeing people make them and really working hard at making it work very efficiently, etc. And I'm going to show you, wait, let me see. How much uranium do I have? I've only got 513 total uranium. I could have a lot more. I just don't. I could make a chicken, 10-10-10 chicken, and feed this machine constantly, but I'm not going to. And the reason why I'm not going to is I wanted to make sure that I showed you all that I can make a, see, look how slow that is. I could make a reactor run for nearly forever on just that little bit. And you have to remember that's going to be used also in the crafting of the reactor. So by the time I'm done crafting these pieces, it's going to be almost gone. And so you're going to see I have a reactor run with just enough to fill it up, and it'll stay full for, I don't know. We can check it at the end of the series. How about that? It will never be touched again. If I have to touch it again, it'll be a really weird reason. Like maybe I needed to fill a Dragon Ball, or I don't know, something strange. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. This is Souls44. You have a great day. Bye-bye now.